Okay guys, we're now on episode 7 of Dragon Ball Super, and I'm just going to be open with you and honest right from the get-go. This episode is not the amazing masterpiece that episode 6 was. It's not bad, but it's still not fantastic. So this one's going to be more of a regular standardized review instead of the frame-by-frame dissection that I was doing last time. First off, this episode pretty much covers everyone just kind of duking it out with beers and leading up to Bulma getting fucking big smacked. Yeah, that's about it. This episode opens with a fantastic shot. Majin Buu had just been wiped out, everyone's freaking out, they're completely silent, they're staring at Beers, he's just completely ominous, hanging in the sky. There's a lot of great tension built up in this intro. And the scene's dragged out just enough to emphasize said tension, but not dragged out so far that it becomes fucking boring. Also, during this opening shot, we see this nice little scene of, Gohan, tending to Mr. Satan. And he calls him Dad. And I really like that because it shows that, they are family. It's really kind of nailing that in there without, just really forcing it. It's just a very natural scene that I just really enjoy. Afterwards, Vegeta tries to reason with Beers, get him to calm down, says he'll get him pudding if that's what this is about. And Beers isn't having any of that shit. He just looks at Vegeta, get the fuck out of my face, I am not in the mood for your shit. And you get this amazing shot where, Vegeta starts floating away from Beers, and it just looks like he's shrinking before him. It's a fantastic little visual, a great little bit of framing, really just loved that shot. Something else I also really loved was Dende sensing Beer's ki, because Dende is a god. He should be able to sense god ki, and the fact that this wasn't really touched on in Battle of Gods is weird, and I like that they really covered that up here. After this, people just start duking it out with Beers. First it's Majin Buu, then it's Gotenks, and then it's Tenshinhan, Piccolo, and 18. And 18 has this fantastic little line about how dare you attack children. Which I really like, because that's such a mom thing to say, and it's really nice to depict her as a mother because she is a mother, and they're really giving her a lot of human qualities in this, something that she really was lacking in Dragon Ball Z. Seriously, people, with me, it's the little things that count. And something else I also really like about this fight is that Beers never touches Piccolo, Tenshinhan, or 18. He just stands there, expends some ki, and just horribly wrecks their shit just from his aura. Really getting across is how powerful this guy really is. Then Majin Buu comes back for round 3, gets the shit kicked out of him, and now it's ready for Gohan to throw down. And unlike Battle of Gods where he's mysteriously in his combat gi, this time he actually stays in his street clothes, which I really liked. But of course it's Gohan, so he gets the shit kicked out of him too, like everybody else. And then Vegeta confronts Beers again. And much like the last episode, Vegeta just crumbles before Beers. And Beers just stands there stepping on his head, crushing him to the ground, paralleling the scene that he did to Vegeta's father. Then of course we have the scene of Bulma slapping Beers and Beers going, "Bitch?" And Vegeta sees this, and there's this amazing just build up to Vegeta's freak out. Slowly panning in on him, slowly panning in on her, and just, you see the fear of Vegeta's eyes that, Bulma may be dead. And he fucking loses it. End of episode. So yeah, that was a good bit of stuff to really like in this episode. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of things to really not like in this episode. First off, Piccolo not being able to sense God Ki is kind of goddamn bullshit. Piccolo is a former god, and has sensed God Ki in the past. In case anyone forgot, he was the one that sensed Kaioshin's power. Now in all fairness, he really couldn't gauge his power that well, and it took him a while to really sense it out, but still I wish there would have been some kind of line of dialogue, at least acknowledging that Piccolo could sense something off of this guy. Next up is Trunks and Goten in their fighting gi. Why the hell are they in their goddamn fighting gis? They were in street clothes all the way up until this point, all of a sudden, bam, they're just in their fucking combat gear. This didn't make any sense in Battle of Gods, it doesn't make any fucking sense here. Another big complaint I have is no SS3 Gotenks. This was a problem in Battle of Gods, and once again, it's a problem here. Why is Gotenks going up against him in his base form? Why would he not just go all out? Everyone's like, oh shit, Gotenks got his ass kicked in his base form. If you really want to get across how imposing and terrifying Beers is, have Gotenks go SS3 and have him get the shit kicked out of him. You can even do it in the exact same embarrassing fashion that, it happens in this episode and in Battle of Gods. Then there's Gohan's one-shot, which was pretty goddamn lame. I'm not upset that Gohan just got taken out in one hit, but the way they did it was just really unimpressive. It didn't look cool to see at all. At least when Goku got taken out in 2 shots, it looked really fucking devastating and impressive. Here, he just kind of gets backhand with Majin Buu, and that's it. And he's just out for the rest of the fucking episode. Then there's the Bulma getting slapped scene. Okay, Beerus just full-on backhands her. Why the fuck does this bitch still have a head? Like, I mean, he hit her hard enough to, like, send her flying back, like, 30 goddamn feet until, like, the kids grabbed her. Like, her neck should be broken, she should be dead as fuck. I really prefer the BOG version where she smacks him and Beerus is just like... because it showed that level of restraint that he had. Here, he's just like... what? Then there's the lack of SS3 Vegeta. Now, this is only a complaint if he gets that crazy-ass rage boost that he did in Battle of Gods. If he does, I'll bitch about it then, and I will explain it in that review. But for right now, I'm just kind of throwing that in as a little bit of concern, but not an actual real issue with this episode as of yet. And the final big issue I have here is the pacing. Yeah, though not atrocious, it's still not that good, and there's a lot of shit that's just fluff and filler, just did not need to be there, and could have been cut, and would have just made the episode a lot better. The first thing that could have gone was the useless sushi scene with Whis. I mean, it's kind of a cute scene, but really just doesn't add anything, doesn't need to friggin' be there. And speaking of Whis, the whole repeated joke thing that they keep doing between Beerus and Whis about Beerus wanting to destroy the planet now and Whis being like, hold up, I want to like try some more food, this stuff's really good. They do it 3 fucking times. It wasn't funny the first time, it wasn't funny the second time, and it wasn't funny the goddamn third time. Fuck that scene, like all I needed was just the one, and that was it. And speaking of doing things in 3s, Majin Buu. Majin Buu was the first one to get his ass kicked in the last episode, and in this episode he comes back twice. Really wasn't needed. I appreciate him showing up one more time to throw down a second round, but him showing up for a third round, it just seemed like needless padding. And the last unnecessary goddamn scene was Dende repeating his lines about Beer's power. At the beginning of the episode, he has this big freak out about sensing Beer's ki, and they don't really follow up on it. But then in the middle of the episode, he repeats all that stuff about, you know, sensing Beer's ki and freaking out, and then also throws in about, oh, it's the ki of a god. It's like, okay, why didn't you just do that scene the first time? Why have him repeat all the same shit he said at the beginning of the episode, and then tack on, it's God Ki? I mean, we the audience already know it's God Ki. We know Beerus is a god, so really, this is just needless padding. It's not like it's any big revelation to us. So yeah, that's pretty much, you know, my pros and cons of this episode. Like I said, it's not a bad episode, not by a long shot, but it's just not fantastic. It could have been a hell of a lot better. And that seems to be a running theme with this saga of Dragon Ball Super. It's taking these elements from Battle of Gods, and more often than not, they're not improving on what they did before. Well, we still got at least 5 more episodes left in this saga, so here's hoping it picks up, it starts getting shit right. Hopefully we get a few more miracles like episode 6, because man, episode 6 was so goddamn good. But until then, I'm Hail Zeon. Peace out. Hey guys, since the bigger, more elaborate videos like the canon plot holes video and the SS4 versus SS God video take a lot of time for me to make, I've been kicking around the idea of doing top lists. As in like top 7 Dragon Ball battles, top 7 Dragon Ball movies, top 7 Dragon Ball sagas, etc. Basically videos that don't require a whole lot of research and crazy editing on my part. So that way you have something other than super reviews to watch while waiting for the bigger, cooler videos to come out. The question is, would you even want to see those? Let me know in the comments, and if you guys want them, I'll make them. If not, fuck it, pretend I never even said this.